I'm Christina. Welcome to The Void. We're here with Jacoby from Papa Roach on their first ever Australian headline tour. How does it feel?
It's been way too long and it feels fantastic.
So you came out here with the Red Hot Chili Peppers many, many moons ago, right? Did you have like a moment with them or?
Well, I wish I did have a moment with them, but it was more like, oh, look, it's Anthony from, oh my God. Hi, I'm Jacoby.
He had like a moment sitting in a car listening to Grandmaster Flash going, I can be in a rock band and I can be a rapper. Did you have a moment where you're like found your voice as like a singer and a vocalist?
There was definitely a moment where I realized I wanted to be a singer. And that was probably when I was 15 years old. I was at a Deftones show, completely sweaty, drenched, and just like left the show going, that's what I want to do. Like I want to be on stage. I want to do what Chino does. Like that's what I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. Like that's my dream right there. And so now years later, I'm doing it.
You're totally living it.
Yeah, living the dream right here.
I was listening to a lot of your early stuff and like thinking about like the family of vocalists that existed around you. And I think of like Bradley from Sublime, Zach De La Rocha from Rage Against the Machine, Mike Patton, Faith No More.
Mike Patton was a mega influence on me as well. You know, I love that dude. Mike Ness from Social Distortion, Bradley, yeah, as well. Like all those guys were just killer vocalists from the 90s. And you know, I was always looking for influence and inspiration, and I picked and pulled from a lot of different people's styles and kind of came with my own thing. You know, I love the nutty quirkiness of Mike Patton, you know, but I like the storytelling of Mike Ness and the melody that he brought to the table. And so I definitely like, you know, just kind of have my own thing going on, but it was because I was influenced by so many different great vocalists, and really in the 90s, man, there was just like some good times going on in rock music. You know, you think about it now, it's like years later, and I'm just like, man, there's so many great bands that like are still relevant these days, you know, and shit, Chili Peppers are still out there doing it. I'm like, man, I love you guys. You guys are sick. Maybe now if I meet the Chili Peppers, I won't put my foot in my mouth. I'll be like, hey, what's up? I'm Jacoby. Nice to meet you. You dope.
You'll be chill.
Yeah, I'll be like, what's up?
We both survived the end of the music industry. How's that?
Yeah, no shit, totally. Or I'll just go up there and be like,
Hey man, we all have our moments. When we were on Soundwave, everyone was afraid of Kerry.
The first time I met Kerry King, I was scared too. But he literally was like, here, I have a gift for you. I'm all, you have a gift for me? He had a big old bottle of vodka he brought me. He heard I like to drink vodka, so I gladly took that bottle of vodka and drank the whole thing.
What a polite man.
Dude, it was weird. It was like, I remember we were in our dressing room and it was like Kerry King and Rivers Cuomo and me. And we were just all chilling. And I'm like, this is strange.
Just hanging out.
This is an odd mix of dudes right here, but kind of cool.
You've had a pretty exceptional life.
I've had interesting moments, and I've had some highs and some super dark lows, but in the dark lows, I was the only one there. So.
Speaking of dark days, because you actually brought that up, you talk a bit about Chester Bennington in your live show and stuff, and like, did you guys know each other well?
Knew Chester quite well, you know. It was like back in the day, we were just starting to crack off the hinges, and they were just about to break, and we actually took them on tour way back in the day, and had a really good moment out there with those guys, and became really close with them. Had a lot of fun. We did Ozfest together with them, and then they just took to that next level, and they just never stopped, you know. And but Chester and I have struggled with a lot of the same demons, a lot of the same issues, and you know, I'm deeply saddened to know that it came to that for him in his life, you know, and it's like, God, it's just fucking terrible, you know. But the reality is, you know, we can try to find these things that we feel fill the hole in our soul, you know, and a lot of us struggle in trying to find that, and sometimes people it just gets too dark, you know, and that's how it got for him, and unfortunately, you know, it came to that, and you know, it's incredibly sad. He left a lot of people, loving people behind, but through the story, it opened up a bigger dialogue.
Yeah, it's a really
Chris Cornell too, man. You just think about these great dudes that a lot of people looked up to, and you just see the power in their music and how it influenced and affected and lifted people out of these dark places, and you know, it's that's hardcore stuff, but it's like, I sit here as a testament, as a man that have been to those dark places my own self, and I haven't taken those actions and just to say to people like there's hope.
It must be hard for a lot of people to understand when you're living the dream and you're this singer and
What I would say that's the thing that I think gets a lot of us rock and rollers is just there's a loneliness at times that sets in, when you're out on the road and you're doing it for so long and you don't know who really wants to just love you or for your status or whatnot, and so you're careful about who you let into your life, and then all of a sudden you find yourself isolated and alone and lonely, and that's like a dangerous place for a lot of people to be, and so.
And you're sensitive.
Yeah, very.
When you're an artist.
Honestly, that's probably one of the things that's like high on the list of everybody that's a musician is like super high emotional people and super sensitive.
Okay, so Last Resort, that was like the song, right, that kind of changed everything for you. 240 million people have listened to it on Spotify. Okay, not 240 million people. I think there's a lot of repeats on that. Let's be real.
That's a lot of listens to a song.
Does that not spin you? That kind of spun me out. I'm like, wow, because I think all bands have a song.
We, like Guns, we did break in like 2 weeks. I saw it going down, but we had been a band for working our ass off 24/7, living together without a toilet for 3.5 years. Yep. So we didn't break overnight, and we toured and toured and toured and toured, and nobody bought our record. For the first year, and then we released. That record nobody bought until Sweet Child came out, and then suddenly we were playing. There were 7 people, and then next night there was 17, which was like a big. And then next night there was 70, and then next night it was 700, and then.
Did you have a moment with that song like that?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, we were in a van, traveling around the country, just making music, making noise, playing in small clubs. And playing Last Resort in those small clubs, and then the next thing you know, that thing was on the radio, and then it was like explosive, and it was totally not what we expected in our path as musicians to become these like mega famous rock and rollers. But that's what happened at that time. We got like an iconic classic rock track that's in our arsenal that I'm just so grateful and so blessed. But even the message within the song is like it's timeless. It's like talking about that. Walking through that darkness, feeling that desperation, that feeling of being alone, but there was like this silver lining within it, that was like, the music video had this image of taking people where they didn't want to be, which was isolated, to being together with people, together with their brothers and sisters, rocking out to music that they loved, and just that simple message is just, it's hopeful, and that's what's beautiful about music is there's a lot within a lot of the darkness. There's that hope that just keeps fighting through and connecting with people.
What's something that people don't know about the making of it?
So that song was, I sing it from the first person, but the song is about my best friend I was living with at the time. I moved out of my house and I was like 17 years old, and I moved in with my friend Mark, and he went through this really dark time. We took a bunch of drugs, and he snapped, and he tried to kill himself.
Whoa! What kind of drugs?
Mushrooms and acid.
Yeah,
don't take psych.
That is dark. That is so dark.
Trip of my life. I was like, it was.
I've never even heard of that happening.
Oh, dude, it was not okay, and so it took him to a really dark place. So like one of my best friends tried to take his own life. That hit me really heavy, and so we wrote that song, and so it wasn't about myself. And then it's trippy. Years later, we named the band after my grandfather, Papa Roach. Years later, my grandfather had taken his life, and I was like, whoa, this is weird, dude. This is fucking me up. And then years later, I go through my own space of feeling like I wanted to end it. And then I'm like, is this some kind of fucking joke now? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. But it really just, I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah. But it's it happens to people, Fortunately, right now in my life, I'm in a pretty damn good place. And the reason I am is because I'm not isolating myself. I'm sober. All these things like help me to not be as insane as I can be. In this space in my life, I've found a lot more opportunity to be effective with my calling, with this music and with the message, and being a husband and a father, and like.
How many kids do you have?
I got 3 kids. Yeah.
It's a nice little team.
Yeah, I got 3 little boys, and then we actually also have a international exchange student who lives with us. He's from the Dominican Republic. Yeah, it's his 2nd year living with us. He's a baseball player, and he just went and did like a tryout for the Arizona State college team. So
He your team.
yeah, I got my squad. You know, my oldest boy plays lacrosse and football, and my middle boy plays drums and lacrosse and football, and then my 4-year-old, he's my favorite, Brixton.
You're gonna say this one day.
That's right. No,
it's true.
The whole family knows that Brixton's our favorite. We all love him the most.
Well, he's cute. That's a cute age, man.
Dude, he's just so cute. He's got hair down to his ass. He's just like adorable.
Do you tell them they should be in a band?
I just chase your dreams, you know. Just be passionate.
Yeah.
Really, just be passionate. Because if
important.
If you're not passionate, then what's the point?
Totally. Well, it's you know, new metal's an interesting period in like rock history. Musicians are like, yeah, that really sucked and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, but like a lot of fucking people really liked it.
Yeah.
At the same time, I feel like there's a little bit of resentment at that being the biggest fucking music in the world for a while. Like, like Korn, Adidas, that whole as well. Like,
I felt kind of the same way sometimes. Some of the bands I'm like, ugh. But then some of the bands I think are great, you know. And so,
who do you think did it well and who sucked?
I think Korn killed it. I think Deftones killed it. And the rest is just kind of like, meh.
Limp Bizkit?
I think Limp Bizkit, now that I go back and in the minute of Limp Bizkit when they were really hot, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm feeling this, man. I like the riffs, but, you know. But then now I go back and we did a bunch of shows with Limp Bizkit. I'm like, oh my God, these guys fucking slay. They're dope. Like, it just, you know, I admit, like, I was a hater for a minute, you know.
Well, there was some questionable behavior.
He's like, why you want to hate me? And I'm like, well, Fred, fucking just chill a little bit. Don't, you know, just come back down to earth, bro.
No. Well, the ego thing. Yeah.
But the reality is they're fucking dope, dude. And we did a bunch of shows, and Fred's been nothing but fucking cool, man.
Well,
nothing but respect for that dude.
Heavy metal lives forever. This is the thing. Like, it really does. Like, it's cool.
Portland's riffs, because they're fucking sick. Yeah, he's dope.
Wes Boy, remember when he was in...
collaborate with you, Wes. Let's do something, dog.
I don't know why that makes me think of Marilyn Manson. You guys played some New Year's show with Marilyn Manson.
That was one of those moments where I had to pinch myself. I remember I'm like, holy fuck, like, we just hacked a Nirvana song live on television.
For real?
It was terrible.
What song did you do?
Lithium. It was cool,
That's
but we didn't do it that well. We kind of sucked. we needed to practice some more, you know? It's one of those moments where I'm like, yeah, we should probably practice some more.
You probably nailed it more than...
We hacked a Legend song and all.
You weren't miming, man.
No.
There are bands out there right now, big bands, who are fucking playing... They are miming.
That's bootsy. Yeah. That's like, if you're miming, like... I'll tell you straight up, like, we started to run tracks in our band.
Like backing tracks and stuff.
Yeah, backing tracks.
Everyone that's kind of pretty widespread. Like, you can't really...
When you're, like, miming, that sucks.
It's messed up.
Yeah, that's not cool. We came up in the era of go out there, shedding wood, making noise. You know, we didn't run tracks back in the day, and then we're like, fuck that, we're never gonna run tracks. And like now we're like, we got these all like sequencing things in the back.
All this, you know.
You know, but I really enjoy it now. But the thing is, we realize is that if the backing track goes down, like, we're still fucking shredding. We're still fucking ripping it up. Like, we could still continue the show. Whereas, you know, some bands, like, if that shit dies, like, they can't perform, and that's not a good thing.
And you guys move.
We throw down, man. You know what I'm saying? That's my passion, man. We get on stage and just, I'm like, I want to sweat. I want to go. I'm sweating thinking about it. You know, I can't wait to just get up there and fucking just murder this shit tonight.
You gonna murder it?
Oh, like a fucking savage.
Yeah. What's in your future? Like, what kind of shit do you want to do? I think of like Anthrax, like Bring the Noise, like Public Enemy. Would you ever do something like that? That'd be pretty sick.
I'd love to collaborate with different hip hop artists.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just had Machine Gun Kelly on our last record on a track called Sunrise Trailer Park. That was a great opportunity, you know, and there's a lot of good MCs. There's a kid named NF right now that's having a moment that I really think is dope. I really like him. I love Yellow Wolf. I think it'd be cool to do a collab with
dude.
Wolf. I think he's dope. You know, there's a lot of cool MCs out there. You know, I'd love to collaborate. I mean, my dream collaboration is P. Roach Eminem, you know.
Oh, my God.
But I mean, hey, dude, I know you're a big superstar, M, but... What's up, dog? We did Anger Management tour together, bro.
Really?
Yeah, we did it twice.
Oh my God.
We did it twice with you, dude. We did a collab, dog. What's up?
You toured with Eminem?
Yeah, let me remind you, we've been around since 1999. We did the anger management tour back in the day. We did.
Was that the one on the big, like that big fucking record? Like
Limp Bizkit was on it. We did 2 tours with Eminem and one with Limp Bizkit on that, and it was fucking banging, dude.
Oh, dude, him going out and doing that Donald Trump song and just saying you're with me or you're with him. I was like, fuck yeah.
Hey,
like,
dude, I'm sorry, y'all, dude. I'm sorry about that guy, Donald Trump, man. I don't even think he.
Yeah,
really
thanks, man. No, thanks. We really need you guys to apologize a bit
I
more.
really don't think like he knew what he was getting into, you know. But I'll tell you this: my stepdad said something to me. I mean, just to touch on this real quick. My dad's all, you know, what if it's kind of a blessing that he became president? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, why do you say this? He's like, well, you know, a lot of issues are coming to the surface, and people are really starting to talk about a lot of things that have just been kind of swept underneath the rug, you know, sexism, racism, stuff like this. And now it's on the forefront of topics that people are dealing with. And, you know, maybe that's what it took, I guess, you know, to get people riled up to really face these things. And it's gnarly right now, you know. But, yeah, I don't think he's great at foreign policy.
He's not good at
business. He knows how to make money. Yeah, you're great at that. I saw this meme going around that was like, all right, listen, how about fuck the president, no president, and we all just agree really hard that we're really going to do our best to try to get along. I'm like, yeah, you know, like, let's try that.
It's really cool to kind of bring all this stuff to the forefront. All this stuff with
harassment is crazy right now. That was like the vibe in the
Manson kind of
80s and 90s. Yeah, dude, I remember they were like, yeah, they got this girl like tied up in the back of his lounge right now, and I'm like, what? That's fucking crazy. But you know,
I've heard some stories. They said afterwards, they're like, can you not put that in there? I'm like, sure.
He's into dominance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's his mental game.
If you want to go and do that, you can do that, man. But I care about this shit.
I definitely don't want to fuck Marilyn Manson.
No, that'd be weird.
It'd be kind of
gross,
awkward, you know. But
I'm sure you're fine.
I love Manson. I think he's fucking great.
Dude, Antichrist Superstar was a great record.
Yeah, dude. And what's the one? Mechanical Animals. Yeah. I love that album too. I think that one's fantastic.
We played a festival out here and they had a giant sign that said drugs in neon lights. I'm like, you would not be able to do that now. Like, it was like 20-foot letters.
It's everything's, honestly, man, I'm like, okay, are we getting like too PC now?
Fucking hey, we are.
I'm like,
sorry, I just swore.
Yeah,
it's
no,
fine.
it's
See,
cool.
it's
Okay.
YouTube.
Fuck a B, it's got 2 holes.
Okay.
Fuck a Q, it's got a tickly stick. Is that sexual harassment?
Is that an American thing?
Did I just sexually harass the alphabet?
I think you did.
Sorry, my name is Jacoby Shaddix. Yes, I sing for Papa Roach, and I'd like to publicly apologize to the alphabet.
This isn't going to work, okay? You can't do this. You got to go. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
I'm so fired. I just got fired.
Okay. 5 songs that changed your life.
Down on the World Again by Social Distortion. Love that one.
Mike Ness is about us.
Oh, yeah.
I met him once. You got a tattoo. He's got a tattoo on his face.
I think that's maybe.
Is that a reference point?
Tattoo. I don't know. Let's say Suck My Kiss by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's a fucking banger. Just bow down, down. That's a classic.
I was listening to Blood Sugar yesterday, actually.
That whole record is like, you put that. I got that thing on vinyl too, man. I just put the needle down and just walk away. And I'm like, kids, listen and learn. Epic by Faith No More.
Yeah, dog.
I think that one was like, you know, life changing for me. Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen. That's been like one that I'm just like.
Are you into Wayne's World?
Duh. Party time. Excellent.
Wait, can you do the roadie speech?
No, I can't.
All right.
I can't.
Would you like me to?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I keep doing this. So I'm doing it again. It was in Sri Lanka, formerly Ceylon, when one of us had to get 1,000 brown M&Ms to fill a brandy glass, or Aussie wouldn't go on stage that night. So Jeff Beck pops his head round the door and mentions there's a little sweet shop on the edge of town. So we go, and it's closed. So there's me and Keith Moon and David Crosby breaking into this little sweet shop, right? Now, instead of a guard dog, they've got this bloody great big Bengal tiger. I managed to take out the tiger with a can of mace, but the shopkeeper and his son, that's a different story altogether. Had to beat them to death with their own shoes. Yeah, I think I burned I don't have much of my brain left after that. God, that takes up a huge chapter of my brain.
I'm just saying, like, if you're going to have, like, something stored in your brain, you might as well have that, because that's good.
This is why I do this. I saw Wayne's World as a kid, and I'm like, yeah, I want to be Wayne and Cassandra.
Yes.
It's a preferred, yeah.
You're with Sandra.
Yeah. Dude, that's a good life decision. But how fucking good was that fucking, like, just...
It's classic. It's one of the best.
And you're still living a rock and roll life.
Dude, you know what I'm saying? My last 2. Yeah. Bohemian Rhapsody. Let's go with Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Tears for Fears, and Nothing But a Good Time by Poison. Don't need nothing but a good time. Oh, come on, dude. That shit was classic.
Actually, I spoke to a big death metal band recently. He's like, yeah, that was my first concert.
Yeah,
I loved him.
Concert as well.
No way.
Yeah, dude, for real. Yeah. Like my first
What are the odds?
my first real big concert, dude, was that, and then I saw a band called the Spin Doctors. And then after that, I was like, I need to go see the Deftones, and then it changed everything.
I'm glad you had that moment.
Yeah.
It's better than you started a band after Poison.
I got to go sing with Poison at a festival called Rocklahoma, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. He invited me on stage because he knew I was a fan, and he invited me on stage. I fucking put the hat on, dude. I got out there, dude. I sang that shit. I met CeCe on stage. Bobby Doll high-fived him. I went back. Ricky Rocket was playing those drums. He's like, yeah. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. I don't know if you know me, but I know you, and I'm singing your shit right now. It was cool.
You had a moment.
Oh, it was a moment. That moment lingers with me.
Cock Rock was a good time.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
But look,
That's a little harassment right there.
Yeah,
Cock
yeah,
Rock.
sorry,
I was
Cock
ease
Rock,
up
yeah.
with
Look, okay, I'm really sorry. Am I making you feel uncomfortable?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, just like I'm getting
Penile
pretty full
rock.
on. Hey, like
Penile rock.
I should like penile rock.
It is
Well,
cock rock,
women
total
didn't.
cock rock.
Well, women didn't do it like as much. What are some female musicians you think are great? Like, why do you think there's so few fucking female musicians?
Oh well, dude.
What's the
there's
deal?
a lot of great ones, man. You know, in this moment,
Yeah.
fucking Maria rips, dude.
Enemy?
Peaches is slamming, dude.
PJ Harvey.
PJ, oh my God, dude. PJ Harvey's a fucking savage. Step back, PJ Harvey's coming through. Like, she's totally on point. L7, they were sick. I was all about L7
I was obsessed with L7.
Yeah, L Smell the Magic. It was a great record. Who else? Slater Kinney, great band. That's another.
Like Kylesa?
Come on,
I
dog.
hate Kylesa.
Oh, come on, dog.
Riffs. I hate great music. No, you don't. You love it. It's good. It's a good thing.
Sorry,
He said,
She's made me feel like I just.
I'm so mean.
You are mean.
You know.
It's all good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. This is The Void. This is Jacoby and Papa Roach. Have a great time, YouTube. It's fun. That was a serious message.